هؤلاء المسلحون والمقنعون هم مستوطنون إسرائيليون هاجموا بيتاً يقطنه فلسطينيون بعد أيام قليلة من هجوم حماس على إسرائيل. 4 فلسطينيين قتلوا خلال عملية اقتحام المستوطنين لبيت هؤلاء الفلسطينيين. أعمال العنف هذه داخل المستوطنات توسعت رقعتها وارتفعت أعداد ضحاياها بشكل هائل، حيث تسببت في مقتل 80 فلسطينياً على الأقل وإسرائيلي واحد بين السابع وال21 من أكتوبر تشرين الأول، رقم قياسي لم يسجل منذ 2005 وهو ما يثير قلق مراقبينا.
One of the videos that I sent you, you could see a settler shooting in a very close range on a guy. This happened in the village of Twane. Twane is a Palestinian village in South Hebron Hills. You can see there is no reason for the shooting. Obviously, the guy who was shot, he was no arm, so there is no kind of a threat. And I can say that I don't understand why he was shot. This time of the year is the time of the olive trees harvest. For the Palestinians, it's important to do the harvest every year for economic reasons. So what we saw in the video is how the settlers coming and just kicking away the Palestinians who is doing the harvest of the olive with no reason, saying that they're afraid that the Palestinians doing harvest near to settlers, something like that.
بعد أيام من هجوم حماس قام وزير الأمن القومي الإسرائيلي المتطرف إيتمار بن غفير بتوزيع الأسلحة على المستوطنين الإسرائيليين، وأعلن عن طلب شراء 10,000 بندقية لإنشاء فريق حماية مدنية على حد تعبيره.
Today, almost every settler who is more than 21 years old, who had like very even small experience in the army, can get a license for a weapon. And that's something new that began after the 7th of October. Before that, it was much more difficult to get a permission to have a license for guns. Unfortunately, the discourse in Israel today, not just among the settlers, is definitely a discourse of revenge. There was a settlers' violence before the war as well. It's not something new. That's very important to mention. But the number, the scale, the violence, the activities against communities become much higher. When it comes to evictions of Palestinian community, the army is definitely doing nothing and the police also is doing nothing. And that's also very concerning. It will take a long time to the Israelis and to the Palestinians to digest what happened here in the 7th of October and what happened after.
الطلاب في عدد كبير من الجامعات الأمريكية خرجوا في مظاهرات حاشدة منذ هجوم حماس على إسرائيل في 7 من أكتوبر تشرين الأول ومنذ الرد الإسرائيلي على قطاع غزة. نشاط الحركات المساندة لإسرائيل من جهة وتلك المتعاطفة مع الفلسطينيين من جهة أخرى تسبب في تأجيج التوترات في حرم الجامعات الأمريكية. الطلاب يدفعون ضريبة هذه الأحداث، حيث يشكو الطلاب اليهود من تزايد الأعمال المعادية للسامية في الجامعات، في حين يشكو الطلاب الذين يدعمون الفلسطينيين من التعرض إلى المضايقات التي قد تصل إلى فقدان وظائفهم. مراقبون تحدث إلينا دون الكشف عن هويته خوفاً من الانتقام بعد أن تلقى التجمع الذي ينشط ضمنه والذي يحاول لفت الانتباه إلى محنة المدنيين الفلسطينيين بعد أن تلقى تهديدات بالقتل.
And what's going on now is just a whole new degree of harassment. Just today, we received a death threat for one of our events. All this tabling event is going to do is hand out Palestinian flags and recommend people to donate to fundraisers for children. I think the backlash is coming from all groups. It's coming from students, it's coming from teachers, in that some teachers are canceling classes because they fear what's going to happen at protests. And then it's coming from external sources as well. Our advisor is even receiving death threats because she's a Palestinian professor. These attacks are coming from all sorts of directions, and we have no recourse. The Jewish Student Organization, we used to do collaborations with them because they understood that, what's going on with Palestine is an international problem that has nothing to do with a religious warfare or religious conflict. But as of recently, the Jewish Student Organization is now taking an anti-Palestinian position.
لكن لماذا أصبحت الجامعات الأمريكية فضاء ساخنا لمثل هذه النقاشات الشائكة؟
Why are you tearing them down? Innocent people were kidnapped.
ميشيل دوتشمان التي تعمل في منظمة تدافع عن حرية التعبير في الجامعات الأمريكية تحاول الإجابة عن هذا السؤال.
It has a lot to do with people who are young and passionate.
Glory to the martyrs! We will liberate the land!
The mission of higher education is to explore ideas and to learn and to challenge ideas. And I think that like these things that we see, protests and rallies and debates are part of what learning and education is about. With the advent of social media, some of the rhetoric, whether it's ugly or not, gets elevated in a way that I don't think we saw in the past.
Nazi IDF is really you guys are Nazis. You're the one killing Jews. Genocide. You support genocide. You're the one beheading babies.
I think that what a larger issue is there's a lot of external folks, donors, alumni, board of trustees who are trying to exert their influence. At Harvard, they are driving trucks around with some students' faces on it who they didn't like their speech. Of what we're seeing happening on college campuses where people are saying, hey, that message doesn't have a space on this campus, when in fact, under the rules of the Constitution, it does have a space and administrators are responsible for making room for those messages.
بهذا نكون قد وصلنا إلى ختام هذه الحلقة من برنامج مراقبون. موعدنا الأسبوع القادم. إلى اللقاء.